I have never experienced a TV like the Bravia 8 Mark II. This is Sony's flagship OLED TV, and the image it produces is stunning. On top of that, this TV has incredible built-in sound, and all controlled by my favorite streaming software, Google TV. Now, before we dive deeper, I want to quickly mention Sony's new lineup for 2025. In addition to the Bravia 8 Mark II, we have the Bravia 5 Mini LED TV, the Bravia 2 Mark II, which is an LED TV. We've got the Bravia Projector 7, which is a 4K HDR laser projector. We've also got the Bravia Theater Bar 6, which is their soundbar, and the System 6, which includes a few more products with the Soundbar 6 and is surprisingly affordable. I do also want to mention that if you do pick up this TV or any of the newer Sony TVs, I have created 2 tips and tricks videos. This is going to help you get more out of your Sony experience, and I'll leave both of those links down in the description below. Now, today we're talking about the Bravia 8 Mark II. This new model is 50% brighter than last year's Bravia 8 Mark I. It also has improved contrast and a larger color volume. It comes with an industry-leading XR processor, acoustic Surface Audio Plus, and gives the appearance that the screen is the speaker. Like I mentioned earlier, the speakers on Sony TVs are absolutely incredible. One of my favorite features of a Sony TV. It sounds like the speaker is actually right behind the screen, instead of typically like you see with the speakers pointing down or behind the TV, which try to reflect the sound back at you. This one feels like it's dead center, pointing right at you, so the sound and words look like they're coming right out of the actor's mouth. Now, speaking of speakers and sounds, have you guys heard of the Sony Theater U's? This is a neck speaker that gives you a total surround sound experience. I did a full breakdown talking about these speakers and then also answered a lot of frequently asked questions. I think it's definitely worth checking out. Now, I do want to mention that Sony did send these products out for me to play around with, but this video is not sponsored. In fact, they are seeing this the same time that you guys are. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the hardware and unboxing of this TV. Now, unboxing and setting up this TV is really easy to do. The whole box is going to lift up off of the TV, and it's going to be sitting on a styrofoam base. You'll be able to remove the styrofoam on each side and then be able to lift the TV up and out and get it on a flat surface. From here, you can easily mount the stands on either side of the TV. Also, each stand is height adjustable. So by default, the stand is actually flush underneath the TV. But if you want to get a little bit higher to maybe put a sound bar under it, you can do that. Now, I chose to forego the legs altogether and wall mount this beast instead. All right, now looking at the ports on the back of the TV. If you were looking at the TV and assuming the TV is facing you, the power cable is going to be on the right-hand side, and all of the other ports are going to be on the left-hand side. I know this might be important to some of you to know where those placements are to make sure they may reach a plug that you have. Now, looking at the rest of the inputs that are on this TV, we have got 2 USB ports. Both of them are going to have different max power outputs. We've got a built-in mic switch for turning on and off your Google Voice Assistant. This is something I cover a little bit more in the tips and tricks video. Below that, we have got the optical digital audio out with S center speaker input. Now, this thing has 4 HDMI ports, with HDMI 3 and 4 being 4K 120, and 3 is also going to have eARC, which is going to be great for Dolby Atmos surround sound. Next to that, we've got our LAN port. We have got a couple of remote ports, and then below that we have got the cable and antenna jack. Now, internally we have tri-band Wi-Fi, and that's going to give us the 2.4, 5, and 6 gigahertz bands. It also has Bluetooth 5.3 and Chromecast for you to cast anything that you are watching on your mobile devices. Lastly, on the front of the TV, we're going to have the light sensor, and this is going to control your screen brightness if you do turn that feature on. Okay, so here is the remote. Nice and simple. It is not full of buttons, so it's easy to find everything that you need. We've got our TV button up here, which is pretty cool because you can actually program that to be anything that you want it to be. We've got our menu button, our input button, another menu button right here, back button, home button. We've got our voice assistant button right here. So hitting that will bring up the Google Voice Assistant, volume up and down, channel up and down. We've got mute. This is our settings button to quickly get into settings, play, pause, and then I believe this is either another menu. You know, I'm actually not sure what that one is. I'll display it right down here to pop up so you guys know what that one is right there. I got to look that one up. But but we've got some nice quick launch buttons on here. We've got our Sony Picture Core, Netflix, Disney, Prime Video, Crunchyroll, which is Japanese anime. I guess I did have to look that up, and then also YouTube. Now with this remote right here, it does come with speckled blue paint on it, which is interesting. I do like though that it doesn't feel bumpy like they actually splattered on it. It's actually baked on there too, so it's still nice and smooth. I like that it is nice and flat on the bottom, so it's not rocking around like I've experienced with other remotes. Other than that, I mean, just a nice, basic, simple remote. All right, the next thing I want to dive into is the software on this TV, and like I mentioned, Google TV is by far my favorite streaming software. With Google TV, you can watch your favorite shows from any of the streaming platforms. So we've got Prime Video, Disney Plus, Netflix, any of those, you can install them and load them up on this TV. Being a Google TV with Chromecast means that from any of your mobile devices, whether it's maybe a tablet or your smartphone or even a laptop, you can actually cast the show that you're watching on your phone to the TV to start watching it there, or maybe any music that you're listening to also. Chromecast is an amazing feature and something that I use quite frequently. Also built into this is the Google Voice Assistant. Personally, I don't like to keep my microphone on, so I do turn that microphone button to the off position, but it is an option if you guys do want to use it. Another cool thing with using Google TV is that you can actually set up and control your smart home through this TV. Now, whether that's going to be a Google Assistant smart home or maybe even an Apple smart home, you can do that both on this TV. In addition to that, you can actually call up and request to see any video footage. So maybe you have a security camera outside. You can request to see that footage on the TV if you do have that voice assistant turned on. Now, speaking of streaming platforms, Sony has their own streaming platform called Sony Picture Core. Now, this is a service that allows you to purchase Sony movies to stream at home. With the Bravia 8 Mark II, you're actually going to get 10 free credits to purchase any movie that you want on this platform. Now, the benefit of viewing things on this platform right here is that you're going to get Pure Stream, which allows you to stream movies at 80 megabits per second. Now, in comparison, the max level that you can do with Netflix is only 25 megs. So you're going to get a much faster transfer speed, which is going to give you a lot higher quality of video and audio. This platform is also going to give us IMAX Enhanced, which will provide a wider view on the top and the bottom. If you have ever been to an IMAX movie, you may notice that it's not super wide and it's actually tall too. This is giving you extra footage on the top and the bottom, and that's something that you're going to be seeing on these TVs right here with that feature. And of course, it supports Dolby Atmos and DTS:X for movie theater level sound. Okay, now let's talk a little bit more about this amazing screen. So this is an OLED TV. It is pretty much the cream of the crop of TV screens that you can get out there. The blacks are super dark and the picture quality is amazing if you're in a darker room. Now, where this TV may struggle a little bit is going to be in very bright rooms. Now, the other TV that I actually have a Bravia 7, which is a mini LED TV. And that TV is going to be a little bit more geared toward rooms that have lots of windows, lots of bright sun coming in. Now, I love that TV and the Bravia 7 is great, but that picture does not compare anything to the Bravia 8, especially to this new Mark II, because it is 50% brighter. So whether I watch this thing at nighttime or during the day, having it in the darker room that I have it in right now, this thing looks gorgeous all the time. The blacks truly are black. The image quality is superb, and the sound coming out of this TV is phenomenal. Out of the other brands of TVs that I have used over the years, typically, a lot of them, I wish I had an extra soundbar. This one, it doesn't need it. This TV stands out on its own with its own built-in sound. Now, that doesn't mean it's not gonna hurt to get a full surround sound system. You can either go with the more budget-friendly Bravia Bar 6 or that System 6, which is the full surround sound system, or you can go full high-end and get maybe the Bravia 9. The Bravia 9 is their flagship soundbar and does sound amazing. I do have that hooked up to my Bravia 7 TV, which is in my main living room, and that also has their main subwoofer and rear speakers. It sounds so good. But those are also flagship devices that are pretty expensive. If you want something that's a little bit cheaper, I definitely recommend taking a look at those Theater U, which are those neck speakers. To me, that gave me almost the exact same surround sound experience at such a cheaper price and something I could just put around my neck. So I can still hear everything going on around me, but have some amazing speakers shooting up into my ears. I actually really like those Theater U's a lot. So I gotta say, image quality on this TV is top notch. It is the best of the best. If I had to have really any complaints with this TV at all, it is that it doesn't come in a bigger size. So this TV, the Bravia 8 Mark II, you can only get it in a 55 and a 65 inch. It doesn't go any higher than that. If you want something higher than that, you're gonna have to look at one of their other models to get something bigger. Two other quality of life changes that I would like to see is one, them to bring back physical buttons on the actual TV. Back on the original Sony that I got from the year 2010, on the back right-hand side, I actually had physical buttons. Power button, volume up and down, input, and I loved using these. It was nice to just walk up to the TV, hit the power button to turn it off, not look for the remote. So I'd love to see those brought back. And then also when we're taking a look at the remote, I would love to see some quick launch buttons on there. So maybe at the very bottom, just maybe even 3 buttons. List them as 1, 2, 3, ABC, I don't really care. But with my LG TV, I've got the full number pad on there. And if you push on hold on any of those buttons, it actually sets up a quick launch for whatever app that I want. So we've got a list of quick launches listed here, like Disney Plus and Crunchyroll, but I would also like to create some of my own. Maybe I want the NFL app on there. Maybe I want Paramount Plus. It would be nice to have a little bit more customization with the remote. So anyway, if you guys want to know more about the Sony lineup and their products, I will leave links in the description below. If you guys want to check out those tips and tricks videos, I recommend checking out this video over here. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked it. As always, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.